Yo, what's going on guys? I'm JB Hoops, and today I got a video on AJ Griffin, the freshman out of Duke. AJ Griffin is 6'6", 220, and a sniper from deep. Due to injuries in the preseason and before his college career, and the surplus of talent on this year's Duke team, for most of the season AJ Griffin was confined to a role player type playstyle. But in that role he was excellent. He's an absolute bucket and a great shooter, hitting 47% of his threes on the season on 4 attempts per game. He's also shown flashes of being an excellent self-creator, but his best attribute this season at Duke was his shooting off the catch. On the season, AJ averaged 10.4 points per game along with 3.8 rebounds, over half a steal and half a block per game, shooting 50% from the field and a blistering hot 47% from 3, all of those numbers in just 23 minutes a game, as he was coming off a few years of consistent injuries and a sprained knee in the preseason. His shot does look a little funky, but he gets it off quick, and he has great footwork to balance himself before shooting on every single shot. In the small amount of possessions that AJ did get to create for himself, he was very good at creating looks for himself in the mid-range, although that was on a very low sample size. The only concerns I have with his jumper is he doesn't get a whole lot of lift on his pull-ups, so NBA size and length may be able to get better contests on him. He also has an extremely wide shot base, which makes his shot look a little weird, but he's able to get it off quick, and it doesn't seem to affect his shot too much, especially at the college level. But his shooting is definitely one of his best attributes, and should definitely translate to the NBA pretty seamlessly. Next I want to get into his slashing and finishing. AJ Griffin has an extremely polished game and is a great finisher at the rim. During his high school days he was an elite athlete, but he also went through a lot of injuries, so during his one season at Duke, he did look a little flat-footed on defense, and he was mostly a below the rim finisher. AJ Griffin is very comfortable with push shots and converting in between. He has very soft touch around the rim, which is definitely a thing he's worked through with all the injuries. That just leaves the potential for him to get back to that level of high school athleticism and be unstoppable in the NBA. One thing that concerns me with his finishing is he doesn't attack the rim to draw fouls. He only shoots 1.3 free throws per game and kind of shies away from contact. And in some games he's very quiet and kind of tentative. Turns into a catch and shoot guy and just isn't very aggressive. But that also could be due to coaching, game plan, and his lack of confidence in his injury history. Another intriguing aspect of his game is his defensive potential. AJ has a very strong frame and a 7-foot wingspan. He's shown he can be a versatile defender and has a high IQ, especially off ball. He also has great hands and can strip ball handlers and cut off passes. But what's so interesting about AJ on the defensive end is the potential for him to be an elite defender with his athleticism he showed in high school that didn't really show up this year at Duke. So during this season he wasn't great. He looked a little bit flat-footed a lot of the time. He slides too long and would sometimes just get beat off the dribble. There was also a few times throughout the season that he would just get back cut and his defensive awareness just wasn't where you wanted it to be, and at times he would just give some lazy closeouts and just get beat off the dribble. But I think that athleticism he flashed in high school, being able to 360 dunk, that doesn't just completely leave with a few injuries. So if he can eventually build that back up, that's what intrigues me the most and why he could be a top 5 pick in this year's draft. Now onto the final thing I want to talk about, which is his playmaking handle. Playmaking definitely isn't a strength of AJ, but he has a solid handle and can break down defenders off the bounce. He's also a solid passer and seems to consistently make the right play. He has a few good dribble moves, but he isn't super crafty, and I think due to his injuries he struggles a bit just to explode past defenders and get to the rim. He could also look to improve his ability to playmake for others, finding cutters and open shooters, but due to his role at Duke, we didn't get to see a whole lot of AJ with the ball, so I think that's definitely an area of untapped potential that could make AJ one of the best players in this draft class. AJ Griffin is very talented, extremely well-rounded, and is very polished. With his athleticism, skill, and size, he definitely has the potential to be one of the best players in this class, and right now I have him at 5 on my big board. If you want to go check that video out, there will be a card. But that's all I got. Subscribe for more, like the video, check a few other videos out. JB Hoops, out.